Hello everybody, today we're going to be making roasted chicken with mashed potatoes. We will be showing you a couple of tips and tricks to make sure it stays very crispy and nice. So yeah, hopefully you guys love it as much as my family does. So to start off, you're going to want to get 6 tablespoons of just butter, and it's really easy to melt this down in the microwave as well, so that you don't have to struggle mixing it. Also add some paprika on top of that. This is going to coat the chickens before we put them in the oven. So just mix that on up until there are no more larger parts of butter. Then you're going to want to put your chickens, or your chicken, how many chickens you want to make, on a rack or this thing where they're standing upright. This minimizes them getting soggy when they interact with all of the liquids in the oven. So if you just lay it down on a pan, it's not going to work out this way. So make sure they are elevated or separated from the bottom of the pan when they go in the oven. But yeah, just go ahead and coat them with the paprika butter mixture you just made, and that's literally all you have to do. A funny story about this recipe is that it's actually my dad's favorite dish, and we got it from his aunt. And at first, every single time she would come over and try to teach my mom how to make it, or they'd make it together, it'd never turn out correct. And we were all really confused about where the discrepancy was happening here. Turns out my mom couldn't believe that this coat mixture, was just butter, paprika, and salt. She couldn't believe it. She was adding garlic, she was adding other spices and things because, there's no way that this would make the chicken taste like that. But it actually does. So it might seem a little bit skeptical, but you guys should try it out because I guess less is so much more in this case. And then you're just gonna coat the bottom of the pan with vegetable broth powder. And into the oven we go at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And at this point, you're going to put boiling hot water on the whole bottom of the pan. Let your chickens get nice and crispy. Here's a little timeline of how crispy they get. And then those are good to go. And now to move on to the gravy, you're going to mix 1/4 cup of flour with, and make sure this part is very important for it to be a nice consistency and very creamy. Make sure you toast your flour a little bit before adding the liquid ingredients, which is going to be the vegetable broth powder chicken stock from the actual pan you had in the oven. So just go ahead and strain that and pour it right into this. It makes the gravy very rich. So go ahead and do that. Also, a side note about the chickens, you don't have to wash them. And if you do decide to do that, it can be in either white vinegar or salt and water. But yeah, finally, on to the final step, which is going to be the potatoes. So go ahead and peel your potatoes as much as you need to coat the entire pan or pot, I guess. Cover it with boiling hot water and poke some holes in with your fork to see when it is ready and is able to crumble apart very nicely. Because when it's not hard anymore, when it's kind of mushy, now is when you can start mashing. So just go ahead and add salt, butter, and mash. I think the biggest takeaway from this recipe is that you can go a long way with just salt and butter. So keep that in mind when you make future dishes, and let us know if there are any dishes that you guys make that are ridiculously simple but turn out really, really good and it's one of your favorites. I'm very curious about other things like that because, that way maybe I could actually make it because I'm not very great at cooking. But anyways, we hope you guys enjoy this dish. Look how beautiful it turned out. And we hope that it turns out just as beautiful for you. Happy roast chickening. Bye!